Here.
Webb,
Here. Okay, I believe that's a quorum. I'd like to make a motion to go ahead and group 1 through 5 together and approve them.
I'll
Unless
second.
anybody- Okay. We could call for a vote, please?
Haskell,
Yes.
Van Zant,
Yes.
Webb,
Yes.
Okay. This time, do we have any remarks or queries by the audience not pertaining to anything on the agenda? Okay, reports at this time, if we could have the October 2022 CEO report.
Okay, there should be a copy in the packet. This is, for sure, month-old information, but anyway, as usual, patient care, in my opinion, continues to be outstanding. Our average daily census back in October was 8. I think we've ticked up in the meantime. Emergency department assists were 139 that month. It's pretty close to our average. Our employees are continuing to receive free meals, compliments of Cohesive. We've added a salad bar and soup, and it really is a big hit with the staff, including the administration. It's
Good.
Very, very nice addition, for sure. Appreciate Cohesive for that. And again, we continue, the board had mentioned at some point in time, I'd like to see more advertising. We're advertising Clinic Weekly in the local paper, but getting quite a bit of stuff on Facebook, different times, and getting some pretty good reactions from that. HR, Shelley, she leads that up, and then Cindy Tillman supports it, from corporate, so, along with several other people from corporate, so we're really proud of the way that's going. You see the contracts and agreements will be discussed as we move forward, so. Any questions?
Not from me.
Thank you.
Okay, at this time, the CCO report, please.
Yeah, good evening. I'm Daniel Coffin. Following the 4 pillars of success for cohesive healthcare management, under excellent patient care, the monthly education topics included a scavenger hunt, which we found to be very fun, looking for critical items for critical or trauma type patients. The staff had a lot of fun with that. We had a lucky winner, had some contributions from local businesses. The Loop got involved, Ace Hardware got involved, and came up with a pretty good prize bucket for Mr. Delbert, one of our nurses. Nursing and associated services used 0 restraints during the month of October, and out of the 8,017 medications administered, 0 had adverse reactions. Under excellent client services, in October, our infectious preventionist reports that of the 110 catheter patient days, there were 0 catheter-associated UTIs or CAUTIs.
Wow.
It's pretty tremendous as far as I can. You see the Preserve Rural Healthcare numbers. Dale shared some of the numbers with you. We did complete 1,822 labs, result findings, and 151 radiologic studies. We still have some open positions. Recruiting efforts are going well. Offers are being considered. We're proud of that. And I'd like to give you a sneak peek for next month's report that our laboratory completed the CLIA survey just a little bit ago. That's a federal program that monitors lab functions and makes sure that everything is within parameters and guidelines to assure good laboratory services, if you will. Elizabeth Waltman, she's the OSDH CLIA program surveyor, stated, and I'm quoting, "I have been surveying Mangum since 2002. This is the best survey I have ever done here. The maintenance is religious, and the team truly deserves an atta girl." So we're really proud of our lab team. That's all. Anybody have any questions? All right, thank you for your time.
Amazing.
Thank you.
We did celebrate them with Daniel's leadership with a nice little pizza party too, so they really appreciated that.
Moving on to the quality report, please.
Okay, the quality report for the month, let's see, we had 12 acutes, 8 swing, 20 discharges, 260 total patient days, 139 ER visits with an average daily census of 8. We had 1 against medical advice that left. We had 3 readmits for the month. 1 fall without injury, 1 fall with minor injury for the month. We had 2 inpatient deaths for the month. 1 of those was a code blue situation. Like Daniel reported, no infections to report for the month. And we had 6 total transfers, 1 acute and 5 ER that were transferred out to a higher level of care. Do you have any questions?
I'm good. Okay. Sounds great. Moving on to the financial report, please.
Andrea, did you hear a call for the financial report?
Oh, no, I missed it. I apologize.
Hey, no problem.
But I'm ready to go. All right, so October financials, cash receipts for the month were almost 1.2 million. Cash disbursements came out slightly over 1.2 million. As everyone else kind of previously mentioned, you know, census for the month was down a little bit at just slightly over 8. This has been our lowest month since March, and so obviously this is and continues to be a key area of focus. Net patient revenue resulted in 1.2 million, with operating expenses at just under 1.4 million, which continues to be in line with our year-to-date trends. The month closed at a loss of 211,000, and just another update is we did pay off an ERS loan in October. This leaves us with 2 remaining, of which 1 pays off coming up in April, so just a couple more months there. And the last ERS loan will pay off in early 2024. And that wraps it up. Does anyone have any questions?
I do, but I'm not sure if I need to wait for the clinic report to ask the questions, because they kind of go hand in hand.
Well, there's no attorney to call you out, so I think you could do what you want.
I could care less if he calls me out if I have a
Well, I know.
question.
I would ask you now.
All
Go for
right,
it.
so we've repeatedly asked to find certain statistics, such as the numbers to correlate with, for instance, the amount of census of patients that get seen at the clinic. I've gone through various parts of our reporting, and for instance, I'm looking at page 42 originally of item 6, and I just can't figure out where exactly do I find the correlating numbers that go with the clinic reports to overall see the financial aspects of the clinic itself. I also don't see, and we've asked about that, as to the amount of employees and also how many of them are core, how many agency staff, but also regarding the clinic, where do we see the financials? The percentiles, the this, the that, the production, collections.
To touch on the financial piece, this is still in the works. We've had to tackle a few other items in the time frame, but we are going to get it to you, yes, because absolutely the clinic does need to be broken out, so you're able to see that. I'll have to turn it over to Jeff for some of the other questions.
Okay.
Would you like the clinic report now?
You okay?
Is it my turn?
That's fine.
Yeah, let's just move on to the clinic report.
Yeah, and then he can answer your question.
Yeah,
Questions?
All right, let's do it.
sounds great.
All right, I don't want to skip anything important, but if we're talking about the clinic operations report, there were 198 visits for the month of October. That's coming in strong, even though we're without a manager, we were without a front-end check-in person for a couple of days, and I believe we were even out a provider 1 or 2 days on PTO. So accordingly, that's a pretty, 198 visits is a pretty good number here. That's still 1.5 an hour. If you look down, the no-show should read 34. I think my big fat finger slipped on the thing. It should read 34 instead of 37. We thought that we had a clinic manager picked out, but that person has chosen to stay at their current location. So as of yesterday, we're back into the ballgame of searching for a clinic manager. All the metrics are good, nothing outstanding there. Just a little bit of heads up. I was notified today by the provider that she will be out an extended period of time in January for surgical procedure. And we will start tomorrow morning looking for a replacement to fill that time.
So when you
That's
do,
all.
when,
I'm sorry?
when you do your clinic reports, out of curiosity, is it truly just simply about how many patients we're seeing, which we're currently doing the average of 1.5 per hour? Does it nowhere show any production collection ratios or anything? Or we're truly just basing everything upon the certain amount of dollars that you're assessing or that is being assessed because we are a rural clinic? Is that all we're focusing on? Again, I'm just curious that we have no financials at all. I understand from the hospital side, but on your end as our clinic manager,
I do not deal in the financial side of the report, ma'am. I historically, before me, and as I follow up, report the numbers. And we allow the billing and revenue cycle to report on the financial aspect of it.
so as the manager, you're not aware of our percentiles, like outstanding insurance, collections, things of that nature?
Yeah. Hey, Dennis, do you mind touching on what we're doing for other hospitals and the effort that is
No,
taking place
our
from,
hospital.
I guess, from a
Our
format saying
clinic.
that the board will see for Mangum?
Sure. Yeah, it's a little bit more complicated than everything, but, Andrew, it does have a separate, financial statement for the clinic. It's a separate GL account, so we have that ELCA. There's a little bit, it's pretty complicated with regards to some other pieces that we have to, get, and specifically the net revenue piece is what we have to calculate because we were paid differently for each payer. And no system goes and allocates revenue deductions down to the clinic level or the departmental level. So we have to do that through a manual process, and that's what takes a little bit longer, but we absolutely will get you something, and we have the template that I use for other facilities, and I'll help Andrew together with that, and we'll have something for you for the very next board meeting.
I guess, yeah, I would be interested to know, what is our, monthly expenditure total for operating the clinic, rent, you know, everything, and then what did we bring in last month in revenue?
Right, well, and we also.
Just real
I also
basic,
provide-
information there.
Yeah.
Like as a
We'll-
separate
we'll-
breakdown, maybe even it needs to be in the financials, just as a, hey, the clinic brought in this much revenue and funds, and then the clinic, that way we can look at how many office visits do we need to be seeing to make the clinic, sustainable.
We actually do too. In addition to that, we also provide how the net revenue is calculated, because that's the piece that's a little bit more complicated. Carson, so we'll have that.
Okay.
We'll walk through the first one, and once you get through the first one, then the others will be, other months will be easier to follow. So we'll make sure, that will be done prior to the next board meeting.
So what happens when the clinic, when Tiffany takes off for a day, for a sick day or whatever, is the clinic closed, or on a paid day off, do we bring somebody in from another location or from the hospital?
When Tiffany takes off, sir,
Yeah,
we can do one of two things, giving the notice, given appropriate notice. We can bring somebody in if given some time to find someone. But more recently, it's been, more acute illness.
yeah,
And at that point,
yeah, there's
we
nothing.
try to keep the clinic open,
Okay,
which is called an administrative day, and so that our staff is there. Nurses are working on referrals and authorizations, and the, fronting, staff is still answering the phone and working on adjusting that schedule that has just been interrupted by the illness, sir.
great. Does anybody else have any questions in regards to the clinic report? Okay. Moving on to item number 11, discussion and possible action to approve the Care Learning Employee Continued Education Agreement.
Yes, sir. What you have before you is a summary sheet outlining our new vendor that will be replacing the existing vendor for our required education. It's part of our conditions of participation with CMS that we have annual and as-needed education. I would request that you approve this. You will see that the prior cost of $37.80, if we follow the current trend and the contractual agreement of 105% per year, would actually be saving a little bit of money to the tune of about $144 for a much better service, a more user-friendly service that we would like to see approved. If you have any questions prior to making your decision, I would appreciate that and give the opportunity to overcome any objections.
What are you most excited about the Care Learning?
I'm really excited about being able to have this ready and user-friendly for our staff and not have to go through a bunch of hoops and a laborious,
So like,
we're all busy enough.
so like if you need to have a new, let's say, you decide I need to teach somebody about patients' rights, what do you currently have to go through to get your material for that?
You're talking my involvement for probably an hour, hour and a half, HR's involvement for at least that long, and then we have some time that we're gonna be contacting the current vendor just to make it happen for that staff member. Then that staff member's gonna have to sit in front of that computer for some time before they can actually get the program that we want delivered to them.
So not only the $104 in total savings, but a savings in your all's time and productivity.
Absolutely.
Okay. So this is essential.
If I may use the term no-brainer, it seems like one to me.
Okay.
I'll make the motion.
I would like to second that motion. If we could call for a vote.
Heisel,
Yes.
Van Zandt,
Yes.
Webb,
Yes.
The motion carries. Moving on to item number 12, discussion and possible action to approve Nextivia, the phone system renewal agreement.
This is a phone system that we've had for several years. We have negotiated with them for a one-year renewal as opposed to a two-year renewal, because we're anticipating proposing a year from now that we move to a Cisco system that's much more user-friendly, and et cetera. We obviously can't function without a phone system and we don't have the time or the opportunity to change to Cisco this year. So, our proposal is that we, renew with Nextiva for a year. It's basically the actual phones themselves, the software, hardware that supports that. And it's fairly user-friendly, it's just not as good as Cisco, so. But again, that's a future discussion. Cost, is up slightly on a monthly basis. You can see prior cost, 2,060, they're proposing 2225, so.
I'd like to make a motion we pass, or that we approve the new contract.
I'll second it.
We could call for a vote, please.
Heisel,
Yes.
Van Zant,
Yes.
Webb,
Yes.
Okay, moving on to item number 13, discussion possible action to approve SHIP ARP grant expenditure proposal.
Hey, so what you have before you, what you should see before you, is an approval request for allowable expenditures under the ARP COVID-19 testing and mitigation grant. The guidelines are similar to the other COVID grants the hospital received, but it's slightly more particular. So as an added measure, what we've done is submitted the list you see before you to the grant representative to be reviewed and approved. And we did receive approval for this list. And then additionally, to summarize the expenditure detail, we've segregated minor alterations and renovations from other allowables, such as supplies and minor equipment. And went a step further and split already incurred expenditures from requested items. And the funds do have to be expended by the end of this year.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion that we approve.
I'll second.
Call for a vote, please.
Heisel,
Yes.
Van Zant,
Yes.
Webb,
Yes.
Okay, moving on to item number 14, discussion and possible action to approve the Sysmex Lab Equipment Service Renewal Agreement.
Yes, sir, what you have before you is an existing vendor, a renewal of this agreement. You can see the cost per year remains the same. We found them to be an exemplary provider as far as service goes. Just a few Wednesdays ago, this system, the hard drive crashed on us. We were unable to run any hematology reports like your CBCs, your blood counts, H&H, that sort of thing. So with some quick thinking, we were able to courier those items to another cohesive hospital, got the results, and within about 24 hours, they had the system back up and running. So we believe this is a necessary contract for our hospital to continue to provide the service for our patients. I would ask that you approve it. Do you have any questions?
We want to keep that lab rating as well as it was, so I'll make that motion.
Agreed. Thank you, ma'am.
I'd like to second.
Thank y'all.
Equipment matters. Yes.
you ready?
Yeah.
Heisel,
Yes.
Van Zant,
Yes.
Webb,
Yes.
Motion carries. Discussion possible action regards to the renewal of medical staff privileges for Mary. Does anybody have any remarks? Okay. I'd like to make a motion that we adjourn.
I'll second.
And what is the date for our next meeting?
I believe it's 2 days after Christmas is what it's currently at. I think. Was Christmas fall on?
Sunday.
was Sunday.
Yeah, 2 days after Christmas. So it's the 27th of December.
I'll be hard pressed getting back. And while we're on that topic, I'm just gonna be quite honest, I am struggling greatly I got a promotion within my job, which takes me out of our area,
Congratulations.
thank you,
Congratulations.
area a lot. I'm going to struggle to continue to make the meetings, I believe, and I don't think it's fair to the hospital, to the board. So I feel I'll be, within the next week, submitting a resignation. And so I do apologize, but there's no way.
Then we might as well change the meetings, because I believe Cheryl will be out of town during the holidays. So there's just the three of us, we need to make sure we're in town.
Yeah, well, I'll do a resignation, it won't be effective immediately, I'll wait,
All right.
I'll wait till after the first of the year.
Okay.
I mean, I'm in town, so I'm good for that. What about you? Will you be in town?
Oh, no, yet.
Okay. That's fair.
We're due back that day, so I just don't know at what
That
time.
cuts it close to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's kinda, yeah. Okay,
But I don't think you can make any action on that anyway.
yeah, I
No,
don't
we
think so,
can't.
we, yeah.
Well, we need to think about it.
Is there, well, we need to have another meeting before the end of the year, right?
Yes.
Okay,
Did we adjourn?
no, if we gotta call for a vote, please.
High school,
Yes.
Van Zant,
Definitely yes.
Webb.
Yes.
Meeting is adjourned.